All right, let's talk about something you probably never think about, your home's plumbing. I mean, it sounds so basic, right? You've got pipes, water, a few drains, simple stuff. But what if I told you that right under your feet there's a secret war going on? A battle that your house is fighting every single day, and you might not even know it's happening.
Yeah, what if the biggest threat to your house is completely invisible? Not something you could see, but something silent, something relentless, that's just part of the world right outside your door.
So to really see what this looks like, we're going to head to Peoria, Arizona. Trust me, it's the perfect front line for this story. It's a place where the local environment itself is basically at war with every single house, attacking the pipes and fixtures day in and day out.
All right, so let's meet the bad guys in this story. And listen, this isn't just one villain we're talking about. It's more like a coordinated attack, coming from the desert itself.
It really boils down to three main culprits, and they all work together. You've got the insane summer heat, a water supply that's super hard, and then there's the desert soil, which is, well, it's aggressive. The three of them together, it's literally the perfect storm for wrecking a home's plumbing.
Okay, first up, the heat. And we're not just talking hot, we're talking summer temps that shoot past 115 degrees. That's not just miserable for you, it's a physical assault on your pipes. Imagine your plumbing expanding and contracting over and over, day after day, in that kind of heat. That constant stress just hammers the joints and seals until they totally give out.
Then you've got the water itself. The water in Peoria, it comes from places like the Colorado River, and it's just loaded with minerals, mostly calcium and magnesium. This is what we call hard water. And honestly, it's like liquid sandpaper flowing through your home. It leaves behind this crusty buildup called scale that slowly, and I mean slowly, just clogs up your pipes and destroys your appliances from the inside.
And the third attacker? It's the ground itself. You see, a lot of the soil out there has this stuff called caliche, and the best way to think of it is, well, it's basically nature's version of concrete. It's this super hard layer of calcium carbonate. So, problem number one, just trying to dig through it for repairs is a total nightmare. But problem number two is that the soil is also really alkaline, which speeds up rust and corrosion. And if the ground shifts even a little bit around this rock-hard stuff, snap, your pipes can just crack.
So you've got this three-pronged attack going on 24/7. So what does the damage actually look like when it finally shows up? This is where that invisible war suddenly becomes very, very visible and super destructive.
And here's what you really got to understand. See, in most places, your plumbing kind of ages gracefully. It lasts for decades. But in a place like Peoria, that whole timeline gets crushed. What should be gradual wear and tear turns into rapid corrosion. What should be a slow, predictable mineral buildup becomes this aggressive scaling that chokes everything. And normal stress? Nope. It's an all-out daily battle with insane temperature swings.
And all that accelerated damage? It leads to some really specific, and let me tell you, really expensive problems. You start seeing things like slab leaks popping up right under the foundation. Water heaters just die because they're full of sediment. Main sewer lines get completely clogged up. And all your fixtures and appliances, they just give up the ghost, sometimes years before they're supposed to.
Let's just zoom in on one of those for a minute. The slab leak. This thing is the stuff of nightmares. Seriously, it's a teeny tiny, pinhole-sized leak in a pipe that's buried deep under the concrete slab of your house. You'd have no idea it's even there until maybe you feel a weird warm spot on your floor, or you open your water bill and it's suddenly skyrocketed. It is an absolute disaster.
Okay, but it's not all doom and gloom. This isn't a war you're destined to lose. There is a defense, but, and this is a big but, it takes a really specific set of skills and some pretty advanced tools that are designed to fight these exact problems.
You see, a real pro doesn't just show up and start whacking at pipes. Their response is a super methodical, three-step plan. First, they have to figure out exactly what's wrong. That's the diagnosis. Then comes the actual expert repair work. And finally, they test everything like crazy to make sure the problem is actually solved, for good.
And that first step, the diagnosis, it is not a guessing game. To find a hidden leak, the experts aren't just going to take a jackhammer to your floor and hope for the best. No way. They use these incredible tools, like electronic detectors that can literally hear the water leaking underground, and tiny little video cameras that they feed right into the pipes to get a direct look at the damage.
And that is why having someone with local experience is it's a must. It's not just about being good with a wrench. It's about knowing the specific building codes for the area, like the 2018 International Plumbing Code they use there, and knowing how to get all the right permits.
All that stuff is what protects you, the homeowner, and makes sure the job is done right and, more importantly, safely.
Now look, all that expertise, it's not free. You're typically looking at an hourly rate somewhere between $75 and $200 for a licensed plumber in an environment like this. And yeah, that's a real investment. But you have to think about it this way. It's the cost of the specialized knowledge you need to protect a much bigger investment, your actual home.
Okay, so you might be thinking, that's a crazy story about Arizona. But what does it have to do with me? I live somewhere totally different. Well, that's the thing. Let's bring this right back to your doorstep.
See, what's happening in Peoria, it's just one example of a much bigger idea. The truth is, every region has its own secret environmental enemies. If you're on the coast, your enemy is the salty air that just eats away at everything. If you live up north, it's the constant freezing and thawing in the winter that can make pipes burst. The villains might have different names, but the battle, it's exactly the same.
And that really brings us to the final, most important question. This isn't really about caliche soil or crazy desert heat. It's about you. It's about looking at your own home in a completely new way. So I'll ask you, do you have any idea what hidden battles your home is fighting right now against your local environment?